Right, so let me fix up this chair. There we go. Perfect. Yeah. All right. So what's up, you guys? My name's Josh. Welcome back to another video. And before anyone asks, Josh, how come you're not in front of your Ninja Turtle collection, right? I'll explain more of that towards the end of the video because I want to focus a little bit more on the topic today. And today we're going to continue talking more about, Hasbro's plastic-free packaging ordeal and how there's a bit of a weird inconsistency going on, especially with like their new release and stuff. It's pretty confusing, so allow me to explain, right? So for anyone that has no knowledge of what's been going on for past few months or so. Basically, the company Hasbro, they announced that they were gonna start releasing their figures without any plastic in their packages. So it's just basically gonna be in a cardboard box. So yeah, obviously people weren't really too crazy about it at first until the figures actually started getting released. And then that's when we started seeing a lot of problems. People were not very happy, not to mention that it was basically a swapper's paradise, meaning it was very easy to take whatever was inside of the figure and then replace it with something else. So basically, well, there you go. Got some theft going on. Not to mention that these boxes are extremely fragile. I have seen so many pictures online of people going to stores and the boxes are just like downright beat up. So it's like, all right, that's already a loss of value right there because, if you like the boxes, you can't really keep them anyway because they get very easily damaged. I remember a while ago when I was doing one of my, local toy hunts at Target. I remember too when I bought the Future Foundation's Spider-Man in his stealth suit, and you guys saw how clumsy I was, where I kept dropping it, and the thing just kept getting more banged up, which is upsetting because usually when I buy Marvel Legends, it's like typically when I drop them, they don't get that much damage. I don't know. Basically, it's very cheap. And yeah, the figures might be nice and all, but that can only get you so far. Don't get me wrong. They've released a lot of great figures so far. I mean, most of them have been Spider-Man. So yeah, Spider-Man fans been eating it up, and that's good. It's always nice to have more Spider-Man figures. I don't care. I don't mind. He's a very popular Marvel character, so why not? That shouldn't be like a hold up. Sugar. Sorry, that was my dog. Anyway, I'm not saying that, yeah, there is an oversaturation of Spider-Man figures, but you get the point, right? I don't think there's necessarily wrong with the figures. It's everything else that's the problem. So you're probably thinking, okay, Josh, we've heard this so many times. Why are you talking about it again? Well, the reason why is because of their X-Men figures, right? So they started releasing, not releasing, but they announced a whole bunch of new X-Men figures, and they all look really cool. And most of them are supposed to be based, well, maybe not based off of the original Toy Biz toy line. I'm not saying that's exactly where it is, but there's definitely some inspiration from it, especially with just packaging and some of the figures. We get like a nice little Wolverine, we got Dark Phoenix, and then we got a whole bunch, so you got that kind of going on. Most of the characters I don't really know all that well, so I hope I don't piss off any X-Men fans, but that's besides the point. The point is they look really cool, but there's a bit of an inconsistency issue with the packaging now. It's open, it's like, okay, you can actually see the figure, so if the paint job is good, you'll know that there's nothing messed up or broken, at least you could kind of see what you're buying before you buy it. And that was the previous problem with their plastic-free packaging, was that you couldn't see the figure at all, so you don't really know what's inside of it. So obviously that's a pretty big issue, and that's tempting a lot of people to not want to buy the figures, which I find interesting because every time I go to Target, I find no new Marvel Legends figures. So it's like, okay, either they're not getting them in, or people are buying them like crazy despite complaining. So it's like, okay, folks, make up your mind. But you know what? I gotta say the same thing with Hasbro, because it's like, it's weird that they've definitely like went with their decision to release some in the new packages with no plastic, and yet we're still getting new figures, with plastic anyway. So it's like, okay, are you trying to go back to what you were doing before? I don't really understand. They haven't made any huge announcements or anything like that. So honestly, I'm not really sure where the decisions go by. I don't know if this is like a group thing or like, I don't know, some meeting discussions. Look, I don't know. Obviously, there's a bit of a weird like kind of inconsistency with it. And I'm not saying, keep what you got right now. I'm just saying, make up your mind. Are you going to continue releasing your figures with the plastic-free packaging, or are you going to go back to releasing them with the plastic packaging, you know. And obviously, yeah, it's less of a headache for collectors, because I remember there was this one video. I know it was a short. I don't remember who made the video. If I'm being honest, I can't really remember at the top of my head. All I know is that he bought the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. I think that's what it's called, right? You know, one of the newer Spider-Man figures, and he opened it up, and the thing literally broke. The legs were like it just fell apart, and that's just heartbreaking, because that is a really, really nice Spider-Man figure. People consider it one of the best in the Marvel Legends line, so that's very upsetting. I don't know. But the other thing too is then you got the Infinity Ultron wave, where all those figures are still in their original packaging, meaning, you know, it's the window box. You know, you can actually see the figure, so you'll know if the paint job is good. You'll know if there's something wrong with it. You can basically tell if the figure is, you know, if it's broken or not. You know, so obviously that's what I mean. Where it's like, are they gonna go with what they originally planned? You know, with their packaging issue, or are they actually going back to releasing them the way they were before they made the decision? And that's the other thing I want to talk about with people complaining about this type of stuff, where they don't like what they're doing. But the funny thing is, though, Hasbro's actually been wanting to do it for years now. So now that they're finally doing it, obviously it's caused nothing but just you know, issues. So the weird thing with these X-Men figures, like I've mentioned, is that they're in their plastic packaging, so you can pretty much see them. You know, you can actually look at the figures and then judge by yourself. Okay, if it doesn't got any smear paint, if it doesn't look broken, if there's nothing off, if there's no missing pieces, I think I could buy it. You know, so there's kind of that. It's a consistency issue, obviously. So it's like it bothers me, because these figures are generally nice looking. That's what it kind of gets to be the most. You know, I like the Spider-Man figures too, you know. Yeah, sure. I know that some of these figures are mostly repaints, but at least they're actually pretty decent. At least they look like some effort was put into them. So at least I try to look at it like that. Also, I'm trying to get more Spider-Man and X-Men figures, you know, for the most part, because I mean, look how cool this Wolverine looks. You see how nice this looks? I love the yellow paint that they used on it. You know, same goes for Sabretooth, you know. Both of these figures came out during the I believe Bone Breaker wave. And these figures came out in their regular packaging. These did not came out in the plastic free packages, so you can actually see them. Also, Gnome Games, what's up? I see you saying hi in the chat, so that's good. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So that's the thing that upsets me the most. These are generally good figures. They actually look really nice. So, you know, it's like, I feel bad that this one decision that they made is obviously costing them a lot. But that's the other thing too. It's like they want to have their cake and then eat it too. They want to continue doing that whole thing with the packages, with the plastic free stuff, and yet they're still releasing figures in their original packages anyway. So it's like, you know, and I can't help but wonder if they're stuck with the decision, because a lot of their other figures, such as G.I. Joe, Star Wars, they all have that kind of the plastic free packaging deal going on. So it's like, in some ways, it looks like that they're keeping their word. But when it comes specifically with the Marvel Legends line, it's almost like they're pretty stuck with it. And I think it's safe to say that the Marvel Legends lines is definitely one of their most popular figures that they ever made. I mean, come on, who doesn't love Marvel figures? Come on, this is your to-go-to company when it comes to Marvel figures, because they got a whole variety. You know, they got, you know, if you want to get like a specific Iron Man or so, they got it. You know, you want the 2099 Spider-Man, they got it too. You know, and once in a while they do re-releases and stuff like that. So if you missed out, that's great. You know. And I don't know if this is true. Don't take my word for it. This is just from what I've heard. But I believe that they were planning on re-releasing a couple of old Spider-Man figures. But then again, I think with distribution issues and with the shipping and all that, they don't know if that's a possibility. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but right now the shipping crisis is it's like a hailstorm right now. We went from getting nothing at all to now too many things coming in at once, and that's affecting a lot of collectors, especially with their online shopping, because they pre-ordered a whole bunch of figures, whether it's the Wakanda Forever, you know, line, or the Infinity Ultron line, where now a lot of these people are getting their figures coming in early. But, you know, I'm not really sure how that kind of online shopping works, because from what I've heard, this affected a lot of like their credit card payments and whatever, so obviously it's a pre-order thing, so I can't really say exactly for sure how that works. All I can say is that people are getting these things coming in unexpectedly. So the whole Infinity Ultron line, that wasn't supposed to come in until next year, and they're all coming in now. Same goes for their Wakanda Forever line, where now some of the figures are actually showing up, right now as we speak. I've seen pictures where even in stores, so I've seen them coming in like Walmart and stuff, and I'm like, oh wow. Well, actually, I'm shocked because Walmart actually has products for once. Okay, there you go. Can you show me your coolest figures you got? Well, definitely these. These are great. I like these a lot. I like Wolverine, even though he might be tiny, but some incarnations of Wolverine, he is meant to be small. And I guess definitely one of my most favorites will definitely be Ironmonger. This is from the this came in a 2-pack basically. I would definitely call this one of the best Marvel Legends figures because it's nicely painted and all, and he got the nice little shooting effect and whatever. Also, I forgot to mention that too. I did made a poll a pretty long time ago asking if you guys want me to do Marvel Legends reviews, and a lot of you say yes. So I didn't forget about that too. I just got to find like the time to record and all that. And one of the figures that people suggested I review is Black Panther. So I'll definitely get right on that. But until then, let's go back to the topic of the video. I'm not going to discuss this for too long. I think you guys get what I'm trying to say here. Basically, everything with Hasbro right now, it's a bit of a mess. And the other thing I want to mention too with their shipping issues is that they have dates set up for when these figures do come in. But I don't know if these are supposed to be like very specific dates. I'm guessing it's one of those 50-50 type ordeals. It's not like on eBay. It's not like that, where basically, if you order something, maybe unexpectedly it could come early. But no, usually when people buy this stuff, mostly on Amazon, there is a very specific date set in for when they're supposed to come in. So obviously it's very unexpected when they do come in a little early. Yeah, usually that's better. But the thing is, the difference here is that these are pre-orders. So I don't know. And it's not just that too, but imagine you're working one day, one of your packages comes in unexpected, and then it's like, they get stolen, and it's like, yeah, you got your camera set up and all that, but that can only get you so far. I'll never forget that weird video of that lady. Well, it was, I guess it was her and her husband. They were trying to steal some packages that they saw on someone's porch. They went up, and when the lady took them, she fell, and according to the report, she actually like broke her ankle or something like that. I don't remember, but unfortunately, they still ended up stealing the package. And from what the homeowner said on when they were interviewing her, I believe it was either medicine or something for like her dogs or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. So you get the point though. I don't, and the thing is too, this is a Hasbro only problem. I haven't seen any other company deal with this exact same thing. So I'm not really sure what's going on really, you got a lot of things going on. There's distribution, there's shipping, and then there's the decision making too. So Hasbro, I don't know. You got pretty good intentions. Okay, I get it. But they definitely need to get their priorities straight if they want to keep releasing these products. Because like I say... wow.
You eat fish, Mom?
Yeah.